Back to my channel, and if you don't know me by now, my name is Trini Lovely, and I wanted to make a video because I just happened to go on my page and I seen somebody commenting, and I was so happy. I was like, you know what, I gotta learn to organize my day because my day is really hectic. Like, I work a full-time job, and then I'm trying to develop this website, and it didn't go the way I wanted to go. And maybe because I didn't put that much energy into my website, I'm always really putting more energy into my career. Now I want to walk you through the park with my career. Like, my career went from, like, I was like, back in the days, I was a college student who literally barely worked. And I didn't really start my job and my career until I got my master's when I was 30. And then I entered into the world of HR, and I was a recruiter for like my beginning, like from the beginning, like my early 30s. I was a recruiter. And then I had my own account. Like, I was a recruiter in like an account manager, where I had my own accounts and stuff like that. And I felt like I was working in a job that was literally dead end, right? So it's like, how do I get myself to director? How do I get myself to VP? And I didn't know how to really move up. So I think I went to, like, at that time, I went to many different recruiting agencies, staffing agencies. And one day my mom was like, I don't like this job for you. You're like always in and out of a job. You're always leaving the job. It's like no growth. And I really had to think about, like, what do I want to do with my life? Like, where do I see myself? Like, I want to work in a company where I have opportunity, where I have growth. And then I really started taking my life really focused. So I started working for the government. But when I started working for the government, guys, I worked in a jail. I worked in HR on Rikers Island, and that's a jail in New York City, a men's jail. And it was a lot. I felt like I was around a lot of toxicity. I was around a lot of negativity, and I decided to leave. And then once I left that job, an opportunity came up, because I'm a strong believer that you can manifest things that you want into this world. And I remember really just feeling exhausted off of a boss. I had a boss that was like really just a nasty, mean. And I remember going into the bathroom and really just crying, and asking, the angels for help, asking for assistance. And understand, I'm asking for help. I'm not praying to them. So let's get that clear. We don't pray to angels. We request help. And so eventually an opportunity came in, and I was able to go to another governmental job, and I'm there now. But I had to start at the bottom. And I remember, even when that position came to me, and I was like, do I want to start back over with my income being at the bottom and leaving HR and starting back as a staff? I was like, do I really want to do that? And I felt so mentally drained and exhausted. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave. When I leave, I think leaving for me and going to another job and just starting back at the bottom, I felt humiliated. I felt embarrassed. And I felt like, like, it was a humbling moment, but it was also an embarrassing moment for me, because I am being treated like crap because I'm sitting at the very low at the bottom. And I felt like at that time I already paid my dues. Like, I already had started my HR career, and at this time I'm not even in HR anymore. I'm actually more in like social service. So I felt really frustrated. And then one day, like, I just literally sat down with a candle, and I literally poured energy into this candle, like meditating on this candle, envisioning my life, believing that I was going to become someone bigger than what I was. So although I was like frustrated and annoyed, I didn't know where my life was gonna take me. Like right now, to this day, I'm a director, so I literally had to go through this demise, this embarrassment, this humiliation for my family, because I'm telling my family, I'm coming from HR and everybody see me back at the bottom. My income is literally not matching. My income is extremely low. I feel frustrated. I feel like I can't advance and level up. So at this time, I'm just like, okay, what do I do now? So like I said, I sat down with a candle and I started like really pouring my energy into this candle. Now, I want you to understand the candle represents all elements. So the fire is the fire element, the wax is the earth element, the smoke is the air, and as the candle melts, that's your water element. So you're using all four element, and then you are acting as the spirit, right? So you're using all five elements to create your reality. Now, do you really need a candle to pour into for you to actually try to make this come into a reality? Absolutely not. I want you to understand, you could read your Bible, you could say mantras, you can use affirmations, you can talk things into reality, but it really depends back on you, how you think and what you believe. And at that time, I had no idea that this was going to work. Like, I had no idea that my life was going to change drastically. And my life did change drastically because now I'm a director. So I remember journaling and writing down like how much money I want to make. And at that time, I put $1 million. Though I didn't make the $1 million, but I was able to advance my career. And I think when it comes down to me, I put a lot of more focus into my career than actually on the business aspect of things. And I do want you to understand, I don't know what you're going through at this time, but I want you to understand you can actually always change the way how your life is, because we live in multiple universe, right? So we're constantly, and I want you to think of it like there's multiple doors that you can go through, and each door depends on the level of your frequency and your vibration. And I want you to understand, when I say frequency and vibration, is how you think, what's in your mind, your actions, your thoughts, right? Most people will tell you they want things in life, but they spend a lot of time putting the obstacles already, because they automatically speak negative. They think negative, they talk negative, and they behave negative, right? They don't think positive. They don't think like it can happen for them. At that time, I daydreamed my life, right? I've always been a daydreamer. Like, even when I was a kid, like, I wanted to work in Macy's, and I will lay down on the bed before I go to sleep and every day picture myself working in Macy's. And that's exactly how you want to believe in your life. You want to romanticize your life with the daydream and the thoughts. Now, you can amplify it by using different attributes, right? So we could go towards the Bible and say multiple psalms, and we could light the candle, or we could go and take a bath and talk into the shower, right? We can do many different stuff to actually create this life that we want, but it all depends on, how do you really believe in yourself? Do you believe that you're worthy of receiving the greatness that you're asking for? Because that is one of the main purpose of when you're actually trying to change your life. I remember one of the things that I did how I was able to come into the role of, even had the opportunity to have the director level waiting for me. I remember I would close my eyes and see chains, right? I would picture like chains on my legs and my hand, and I would picture me unlocking the chains and unlocking the chains on my hand, and I would say, I release poverty, right? So I will see the chains literally opening, and I will get up and walk out the door and then close the gate behind me, because I walked out of poverty. And these are some things that you can do when you believe that you're not where you want to be. You have to create the life that you want. So creating the life that you want, where you are right now and what you want to be and who you want to be starts with you. You have to open up doors for yourself, create different things for yourself, because you need to be able to have opportunities come your way. Like some people won't have an opportunity to come with their way, and all of a sudden they play lotto and they win, right? But to me, you want to have different avenues and different opportunities, right? So what I learned a very long time ago, I think I learned this like maybe in 2012, that in order for me to want certain things, I have to do some perseverance. So I have to move forward to create it. Now, when we think about the planet Jupiter, Jupiter is an expansion, right? We want to connect to the expansion of things that we want in our life. And when we think about moving forward and making it happen, so that's exactly how you want to look at things. You want to make things happen for you. So you want to set things in place, and you want to believe, and you want to think about it. Like even before, when I was a supervisor at that time. So like I went from a regular staff worker to a supervisor and a director. And I wrapped everything up in 4 years and made it happen. One of the things that I did was I believed that I was worthy. Now, it's very easy for you to believe that you're worthy, right? And this is some things that I'm going to teach you what I did to actually change my life and actually get where I wanted to be. Also, I'm still in the process of still wanting to level up more. I want to get my business off the floor, but we can work together and I can show you some things. And we will talk more about each week. I'll tell you how to protect yourself, but I also will tell you how to level up, right? So let's make it be the level up journey as well, because we can be spiritual, but we do live in the physical. And in the physical, we want to be able to live a life with no scarcity. We want to be able to live with a life with opportunity. We want to be able to live with a life where you'll be able to receive the things that you're requesting for. So let's think about that, right? So I want you to picture yourself behind a gate. And I want you to see yourself with chains on your feet and chains on your arm. And I want you to visualize this. You can visualize with your eyes open, or you can visualize with your eyes closed. But I want you to get within the mind frame of seeing yourself behind this gate. Now I want you to say, I release the gates. I release within the gate of poverty. I no longer stand in poverty. And I want you to see yourself, envision yourself with no one opening up this chain that's on your hand that's binding you like this. I want you to see it automatically broken, and now you're free. Now I want you to look at your feet and see it automatically open as well, and it's now broken in half, and now you're free. And I want you to picture yourself sitting down now, but I want you to picture yourself standing up. And now you're going to walk out the gate. As you're walking out the gate, I want you to close the gate behind you. And I want you to say, I am free from poverty. And as you say that you're free from poverty, I want you to keep walking and don't look back. And what stands before you is a mountain. And I want you to walk towards the mountain, because you're walking towards your success. And I literally want you to do this every single day. Also, what I also want you to do is, from now, where you want to see yourself and where you want to reach, I want you to, when you walk down the street and people look at you, I want you to say, everyone admire me. Everyone admire me for my success. So if you want to be a manager, you want to say, I'm a manager. If you want to be a supervisor, you want to say, I'm a supervisor. If you want to be a CEO, you want to say, I'm a CEO. But I also want you to set things in place to reach this height. That means if you have to look outside of your job, you have to ask for a promotion, you need to apply somewhere else. You want to say this So the opportunity is going to come in. Now, I want you to understand, when I said I wanted to be a director, it didn't happen overnight, right? Um, it literally, things started falling into place 2 years after, right? I became a supervisor. Now, the supervisor didn't allow me to become the director, but I just want you to understand how sometimes it falls back on frequency and vibration. You have to reinvent yourself to align with that energy, or else you wouldn't align with that energy. You have to make a transformation within yourself to touch that frequency, or you won't touch that frequency. Because everything that you have now is the vibration that you are on. And the reason why you're having what you have is because that's the frequency that you're aligned to, right? So the people that comes into your life and the experiences that you have, whether it's positive or negative, it has a lot to do with karmic lessons, soul journeying, lessons in general. So in order for you to create a reality of things that you want and things that you desire, you have to spend more time thinking positive, because we spend a lot of times thinking negative. You could go to a job and trauma bond with somebody the whole time, spend the whole time on your lunch break gossiping, the whole time on your lunch break talking negativity. You can go out with someone and spend the whole time discussing your relationship, the whole time discussing someone. You have to think about, what do you place in your mind on a day-to-day. And one of the most important things, when they tell you, like when you watch videos and you watch different videos and people say you have to fall in love with yourself, you have to think, you have to think that you're the most important person. It's bigger than that. Falling in love with yourself is to be infatuated with your own self, of how you romanticizing your own life, right? So you want to spend a lot of time bigging your own self up so you can actually connect to your higher self. Because the higher self doesn't have low vibration. It's the higher part of your soul. Like, I hear people say a lot of crazy stuff sometimes. I literally leveled up so I can be look like my higher self. Ma'am, your higher self is your soul. The nefesh soul is the lowest part of the soul, and it's always standing in the kingdom. The kingdom is where people are greedy, people are selfish, they don't care about anybody. It's all for self. When you're on the highest frequency, you're totally different in your mind, right? You totally invest into uplifting you and really thinking positive. So that is where you want to be. You want to be on the most positive note to change your life. I don't care what happened. You can have a boss that's mean and nasty. You do not focus on that nasty boss. You focus on you. You focus on your life. You focus on your career. Because if I could tell you about some of the experiences I had in my career path with nasty bosses, if I spend a whole bunch of time focusing on it, it would become the biggest thing in my life. Where you focus your energy is what will maximize. So if you focus on positivity, so when you focus on positivity, that's what's going to maximize. So I want you to understand how the REM operate. Now, they did say, now you could go look this up, we're now on the 5th dimension, where everyone is not operating and aligning on the 5th dimension. And we have access to connect to the 5th dimension within our consciousness, right? Not in the physical reality. The physical reality is a 3D reality. It's a 3rd dimension reality. But we now have access to connect to the 5th dimension. And when you're connecting to the 5th dimension, you're actually the one to bring things into reality. So we have, where we never had before, much more of an opportunity to manifest things in our reality even faster than that we had it before. So it's really about what you focus on in your mind. This is why sometimes you have to walk away from friendships, walk away from people from your past, walk away from people who was negative and chaotic, because they control such a force in your life that will allow you to be held back. A lot of obstacles that comes into your way based on how you think, how you talk, and how you act. Your actions plays a major role because it's a frequency on that actions. That has a vibration. Your actions have a vibration because you have to act with the level with morality and integrity, right? You can't be a person. I'm just going somewhere here. I'm giving an example. You can't be a woman that sleeps around with men, who's married, and then say, that has nothing to do with me. I don't owe her nothing. Where is the integrity or the morality? So then there's a level of frequency and there's a level of vibration that now you endure a karmatic lesson, right? So when you move through the life, right, you have to move through life with integrity and morality. There's many times that women are fooled by men, right, and don't know that that man has someone in the house, right? But if you find out that the man has a woman in the house, how are you going to move? How are you going to think? How are you going to talk? So this is where the integrity and the morality come in. It's the same way. So now we're going to vice versa. A man, you could be with someone and you see that she's vulnerable and she's hurt from a last relationship. You could take that information and say, you know what, integrity and morality. You can say, you know what, I can use it to my advantage to get into bed, or I can use it as an advantage to get to know her in a better way. So it's all about integrity or morality, how we show up in this realm. But people there's different levels of the soul. Everyone that you meet in life is not here for the beneficiary of ourselves, right? It's not for us to benefit. It can be a soul journey, right? There's a reason that this soul has to run into this person in either for you to learn something. You can learn something negative or positive, but whether it's negative or not, you need to turn it around and make it a positivity. And that's how we operate on this realm. So everything is integrity, everything is a morality. When you are looking at the actions, because you want to act within a higher frequency. Now, when you're thinking in your mind, you want to stop thinking obstacles. You want to start thinking positivity. You want to start believing that you are worthy to receive love. You are worthy to be happy. You are worthy for a great relationship. You are worthy for a good career. You are worthy for money to flow within you and through you. So this is how you want to think if you want life to become successful for you in the things that you're requesting, right? So when we use our thoughts, we use our actions, and now let's think about what's coming out of our mouth. You don't want to bind yourself. You don't want to cross yourself, because many times people think that somebody is always, oh, this person is doing something to me. This person did black magic on me, but sometimes it's you crossing your own self, right? Sometimes people cross their own self, or sometimes people tell a little bit too much of things that they want to desire, right? And not to be aware that you can tell somebody and that person can cross them. So we have to be very focused on, if we want our life to change, what do we want to put out there and what we don't want to put out there. And thank